Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From BA to Broadway. You know who it is. It's me. It is Brennan Stefanik. Folks, it is Wednesday, which means we're, of course, here for In the Spotlight. But first, your general programming reminders. Folks, typically every Monday we are here with the main pod, and every Wednesday we are here with the mini-series. But of course, this week we are in our nerd extravaganza, so if you are joining us, you probably know that this week we have a lovely little focus on a little Off-Broadway show happening right now called the 20-Sided Tavern. But of course, I'm not going to be here talking about this by myself. It's Wednesday. Danny's here. Danny, what's going on?
I feel like you could talk about this for yourself for an hour.
I think I could, but I've also talked about it with 4 other people for this week, and I think that would be really weird.
This week, you are the expert.
I guess I am, but not necessarily.
Yeah. So this week, Playbill sent us as press
Hasbro,
the Off-Broadway production of 20th.
Yes, 100%. They made a box in the theater for us. Yes,
and paid us millions of dollars.
Truly,
they begged, they pleaded, they sent us cards and flowers. They said, "Please see the show and talk about it on the pod."
And we were planning it to see it the next week anyways. So it was just a really weird
lucky
coincidence.
We were like, I guess we're free tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we returned our original tickets, of course.
Yeah.
Because you listen.
So I have seen the show once. How many times have you seen the show?
At this point in time, I have seen the show 4 times.
Crazy.
Yes.
So why don't you give us a little overview of the show?
What a phenomenal request that you just made.
Because now you have seen the show 4 times. You've talked to a couple cast members.
That is true. That is very true. Folks, the 20-Sided Tavern is an immersive off-Broadway production. I don't want to say play because it's not really a play. It's more of a theatrical experience happening down at Stage 42. It is a nerd fantasia, Dungeons and Dragons. You're essentially playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. The characters are the actors on stage. It is made up of a 5-person cast. You have your dungeon master, of course, who runs the game. You have the tavern keeper, who kind of keeps everything afloat technology-wise and keeps track of all of your stats, all of those things, so your dungeon master doesn't have to, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces. Mm-hmm. And then your players, of course, are your warrior, your mage, and your trickster. So the audience has the opportunity to choose the path of your adventure. You choose who the characters are playing. You choose the different routes they take on the quest. You choose the name of all of your NPCs along the way. Mm-hmm. And it is a grand old time of theater and comedy and TTRPG on stage. You don't even know what that means, do you?
No.
Tabletop role-playing game. So that is anything Dungeons and Dragons. You know the vibe. Mm-hmm. For sure. Danny is making a face at me that is saying, "You're such a nerd.
No,
You're
I would never say that.
Loser. I can't believe I live down the hall from you."
I can believe it. There are Legos in the living room.
Listen, I'll get those out of there soon, I swear. I just gotta clear some room, but there's no time for me to do so.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, this is happening currently off-Broadway. It's really lovely and refreshing. Like I said, I've seen it 4 times, and this 4th time I did take Danny to see it with me. Mm-hmm. Danny, what were your thoughts coming out of it?
I loved it. So, background on me. I am a musical theater nerd.
That is true.
I am not the other kind of nerd.
Pop culture. We'll say pop culture.
This isn't pop culture.
But you're also not that.
I'm a pop culture nerd.
Like, in terms of, like, I'd qualify a pop culture nerd as, like, Marvel, like, comic book movies, nerdy things in that regard.
See, that's your pop culture.
What's your pop culture, Broadway?
My pop culture is, like...
You don't even listen to music.
Like television shows and celebrities and stuff.
Okay.
Like that's what I consider to be pop culture. Yours is nerd culture.
I'm going to say nerd pop culture.
Yeah, nerd pop culture.
Okay.
Like I'm not, I'm someone who like pops into Marvel every 3rd movie.
Yeah. Because we're going.
Yeah. And like I have played in a campaign for D&D, so I have like a very baseline level of understanding of the game.
Yes.
And so I think I was kind of a good example of just kind of like a layman who went.
For sure.
And I think it's really wonderful. I think it's an improv show. It's really just an improv show.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to speak with someone with zero knowledge of D&D
Yes.
because I think it is very, very accessible. But I also think I would love to talk to someone who doesn't know anything and be
For
you
sure.
know, and say like, what did you miss? Like, are there things that you really didn't get?
Yeah.
But I think there's something for everyone. Like, I have a friend who, like, you know, she is like a theater girly, you know, loves theater, and her partner is like a nerd. And I was like, this is the perfect date night for you guys. This is where your Venn diagrams intersect. Like, you'll be there for the wonderful, wonderful improv acting that's going on all night, and she'll be there for the nerd shit. And you guys will have a great time. And she's like, that's perfect for us. I gotta go. And it's that kind of a night.
100%.
You know, and it's these actors, like the three, I mean, so there's the Dungeon Master, the Tavern Keeper, and then the three characters. They are absolutely brilliant. It's such an interesting niche to be in this show because you have to have like a really, really thorough understanding of Dungeons and Dragons, and you also have to be a brilliant improvisational actor.
Yeah.
And they really kind of got the best of the best. Because I feel like sometimes when you get so niche, it can be like a detriment.
Yeah.
Because you're like, who could fill this role? They're brilliant. I was watching them and I was like, this would be so... I couldn't do the show.
Totally.
Like, they are just doing long form improv for over 2 hours. And it truly is because the audience is picking things at the top of the show. We picked their characters and that determines who they're playing for the rest of the night. They don't know. Going into the show, they do not know who they're playing. I think the first act of the show is very, very improv and story focused.
Yes.
I think the second act does kind of get into the weeds of the game a little bit.
It's more gameplay oriented.
I think if you really didn't know anything, you could enjoy the first act. The second act, I could see someone getting a little lost if they don't know at least a general layout of how the game works.
I think for those of you out there who have never played D&D before, a campaign would typically consist of a blend of both story and battle. And the two parts of the game are very different. You know, story is very much the improv, the silly, fun. It can be whatever you want with it. Building, it's like world building. And then the battle, I should say combat, the combat component of it is like the actual, okay, now we're really going to use these stats. We're going to use these abilities. We're going to fight a monster. Yeah. And that kind of aspect. So
even down to the basic thing of the dice throwing and what that means and what the numbers mean of what, you know, what you're getting. That being said, as someone with a baseline understanding of the game, I feel like I understand the game a lot more.
After seeing the show? Oh, amazing.
Because I came in with a general knowledge of how to play. Yeah. And then I watched people who are the best at doing it do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, this makes so much more sense now to me that I'm seeing professionals play the game. And it's exciting. And I hate audience participation. I really do. Yeah. I hate a show with audience participation. If I'm coming to your show, I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be put on the spot. I don't want to get called on. Like, I want to sit in the audience and not stress about that. And I think that this show does a really, really good job of what I call like non-threatening audience participation. Because it's like nothing is by surprise.
Yes.
You know, like a lot of the participation is on your phone. Like you like go to the link and to, you know, cast a vote or do things, participate. It's all like app based. And then there are moments of being called on stage, but they're all volunteer moments.
Yes.
There was never a moment where I was sitting there being like, oh my God, they're going to call on me. Oh my God, they're going to pull me up on stage. And I'm here to be an audience member. I'm not here to go on a stage right now.
Yes.
So I think for our audience participation shy people, you don't have to worry about that.
Totally.
It's not an audience participation in a way where you're going to get like dragged up and you don't want to be.
Totally.
And I really appreciated that because I hate audience participation.
Yeah, you were pretty scared.
Gives me the sweats. I hate it.
I'm sorry that I reached over and tried to touch your screen for that one point where you go on stage.
Oh my God.
I kind of wish you got called, but it is what it is.
See, I think I would have because that's like you volunteer for that.
Yeah.
I don't like when they just like, I don't know, like when they force you to volunteer,
Understood.
when they force you to participate. Yes. I'm like, no, if I wanted to be in your show, I would have auditioned. I didn't audition. I came, I got a ticket, and I'm sitting in the audience. Yes. Leave me alone. Do your job. You're getting paid. I'm not. Do your job.
Valid. Yeah, I think folks, in terms of like the audience participation, a lot of the way it works is like you do a lot of it on your phone. There are prompts that you can answer, but then there's also like technologically simple, we're going to play this game, and all you're going to have to do is tap on your screen.
Yeah.
And you want to interact in some specific way. There's, we just sent you a riddle, and we sent different clues to different people, and you can chat with your fellow audience members to try and figure out what the answer is, you know? It is all, I think, like you said, it's very accessible as a non-D&D consumer, but also just like technologically, it's very easy. You know, anyone
just follow
can do
a
it.
QR code and
exactly
click the yes or no buttons, really. I think it's a really fun audience base, too.
Yeah.
Because it's, in the nicest way possible, all nerds.
Yeah.
It's all nerds who love D&D and are so excited to be there and are like, they are like yelling.
Totally.
Like they're yelling, they're participating. Someone's like, okay, give me a name for the barkeeper, and everyone is screaming.
Yeah.
And it is a really fun environment. I think just like I don't think it's bad to like make a niche D&D play.
Totally.
I think that just like hurts its commercial viability.
Yes.
Especially in like a big New York City space like that.
For sure.
So I do just like wonder what the logistical longevity of the show could look like.
Yeah.
Or like maybe it would be better suited to a small space. But I have to say, the design elements of this show,
that space is perfect,
are absolutely phenomenal. The set is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
All of the technological pieces of the show are so well done.
Yeah.
It's really phenomenal. I love the way that everything is set up.
Yes.
The whole set, the whole, like even the participation parts, the parts where it's like electronic based, like screen based, like there are screens on the stage. It's just really, really well done.
I wish I had the number of seats in the house on the top of my head, but it is one of those spaces that it doesn't feel too small, like you're getting necessarily a shabby experience whatsoever. However, it feels so cozy and homey. But at the same time, like the space does feel big enough where you're like, oh, this is legit. Like this is a legit theater. This is like really getting its due kind of in that regard. It is just a really wonderful space. They crafted it really to make you feel like you're in your friend's basement playing this game, and you are just in the comfort of a theater. And
and the cast is drinking. They're taking shots.
The cast be drinking.
Did you ask them? I asked Brennan. I was like, I have one question for the cast. Is it real alcohol?
I forgot.
I think it is, but I just want to know. I think it real
is.
Alcohol? Because that just adds another layer of, like, if I was tasked with long form improv while playing D&D for 2.5 hours in front of an audience, and they were like, on top of that, you are liable to have 3 to 5 shots throughout the night. What?
Yeah.
It's insane.
For sure.
It's insane. It's like, if you roll a certain number, you got to take a shot. If you do this or that, the other thing, you got to take a shot. It's so impressive. And the actors in this show are crazy.
Yeah.
They have such a quick wit. And it is just, I mean, like we all know, like the yes end of improv.
Of course.
That is just, you're just seeing it. You're seeing it in like the best way that it can be done, I think. And it's just phenomenal. And their voices are changing. They're doing like all of these crazy different accents. They're all switching costumes the whole time. And I want to give a shout out. We saw Cassidy, who is a friend of the pod.
They're all friends of the pod at this point.
Oh, yeah. But Cassidy specifically played the tavern keeper. She was the understudy who was on that night. And that is, I mean, it's one thing to be an understudy. Understudying is really hard.
Yeah.
To be an understudy in an improv show like that has that many different moving pieces, and she was dealing with like the technology of it all, is just like another level of
totally
absolute insanity. Because it's like, understudying is really hard. I've been an understudy. It's high pressure. But, it's one thing when you're doing it in a show that is set and you know exactly what's going to happen. You're like, okay, I might feel crazy, but I know the show around me. Yes. I know exactly what's going to happen. It's another thing when you don't even know which characters are going to be on the stage that night.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. I just give up. I give her and the whole cast and all of the swings, like, all the kudos.
It's so funny you say that with this improv heavy show, because 2 of the 5 cast members that we saw do not really come from a necessarily improv background. Like Cassidy didn't really have any like improv training prior to this.
Really?
And Jasmine, the closest she got to like quote unquote improv training was doing immersive theater. but
Was
not
Jasmine the mage.
Jasmine was the maid.
She played the old woman.
Yes, her character was an old woman for the evening.
See, I'm not a nerd.
But yeah, so it's really neat that it can bring in people of all these kinds of backgrounds and make them comfortable in this kind of environment. But like also with Cassidy being an understudy, it's just really phenomenal that she is doing this so flawlessly.
Just to like jump right in. And there are several swings who are liable to cover all 5 parts, right?
I believe there is one who can cover all 5, and then there are some that do like just the bar, which would be Dungeon Master and Tavern Keeper, and then some do just characters, which would be the 3 players. So yeah, it's just really a really interesting acting experience. And then I don't know, with the whole fan interaction of it all too, it's just like really, it's just nice.
And it's one of those shows where I want to go again.
Oh, 100%.
It's a show that you can like keep going back to because it's different every single time. And I would want to go, and I like I don't know who's playing what that night and which characters they're going to be playing. It might be the same, it might be different, but the whole show is going to be different.
Yeah.
Because the whole audience is different. And even if they're playing the same characters because we voted on that, the arc of the story is going to be completely different.
Oh, we forgot to say, too, in terms of the interactive component, that when you enter the theater, you are given a playbill, and inside that playbill, you are given a sticker that indicates kind of what team you're on. So you're usually either team warrior, team mage, or team trickster. So that in itself changes what you are allowed to vote on. And the decisions that you are making, and then it changes a lot of the information you are given along the way. So like also in that regard, like your experience is also inherently different every time you go to the show. So that's just another fun component of it. And also just like if you are someone that is there and excited for the community, that is just another aspect of how you'll be interacting with those around you if you choose to do so,
Yeah. And like something that I was like stressing to my friends who aren't into D&D at all, I was like, you don't even have to view it as a D&D play. Like you just like view it as an interactive improv show.
Yeah.
And it's like so entertaining and so fun.
It's a game. It's a lovely, lovely game.
It's a game. You're watching them having fun. They're having so much fun. They're clearly having so much fun. They're clearly all great friends. Watch, you're like, no, they secretly hate each other.
Literally, they haven't divulged. I should make sure
that they're actually friends. But I mean, from the audience, I'm like, yeah, you guys are just like a group of pals having a fucking blast.
And like those who have talked about it, like really do stress upon the fact that like casting was funky and untraditional, but they really got it right in terms of just picking such wonderful and talented people, where it is just so fun.
The chemistry is insane.
Yeah. And then in terms of like the whole world of D&D right now, like it is something that is coming more into the mainstream of vocabulary in this world. And Danny loves to come in on me watching my quote unquote Dungeons and Dragons television when I'm sitting there watching Dimension 20. But
every day, baby.
Also in that regard, this show has done some really brilliant
that was the first time I've ever known the name of the show that you watch.
Dimension 20.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I've never heard the name.
Amazing. That's so funny. Well, right now, in particular, while we're recording this during their run, they are actually having folks come in for kind of like guest contract stints. So, excuse me. So last week, Felicia Day from Supernatural was playing the role of the mage for the week. And this week, and I want to say she has a 2-week run, Aubrey Iyengar from Dimension 20 is taking over the mage, and in a couple weeks, Erika Ishii from Dimension 20 is taking over the role of the warrior. So they are bringing kind of...
What is it? Blindside 20, you just said?
That's so funny.
I don't know any of these people. I don't know any of the programs you're referencing. I'm like, what?
Well, see, the thing is that it is a very niche form of celebrity, quote unquote, but they are getting some of the stars of some of the most popular D&D franchises that are currently out there to come in and join this world for a couple of weeks. So, I mean, in terms of ticketing and longevity, this feels like a nice way to definitely keep the show going for a long time and bringing interest from their targeted demographics.
What if they had like... Never mind. You guys
say it.
No, I'm not gonna say.
What are you gonna say?
You're gonna say Patti LuPone.
Oh my god.
I have to say her name at least once.
Yeah,
otherwise she'll, say her name 3 times or else she'll get you.
That's nice. Yeah, so I mean, this feels like something that is just so charming and refreshing out there, where I really hope it sees a long life on Broadway, and I hope a lot of people take the chance to go see it. Also, it's one of the shows out there with an affordable rush policy right now. So,
Oh, is it? What is it?
I think it's $37 rush after taxes and fees.
I like that. I hate when a rush is over 40.
Truly, that's not a rush.
I'm like, that's not a rush. That's just a ticket.
Yeah, it's just a bad ticket. But yeah, I think it's just a really accessible, fun show that if you're looking for something fun to do in the city and out of your...
Even if you bought a regular ticket on Today Tix, it's $48.
That's wonderful.
Which isn't bad.
Not
for
at
like
all.
a high quality off-Broadway show.
Yeah.
Like that is a very, in my opinion, like that's an affordable ticket.
For sure. And like, I think especially for folks traveling out of state to come see the show, like who want to come to the city to see the show in particular, that's really lovely and affordable and can really help you make a night out of it too. So like, I think it's a really phenomenal option for anyone out there that wants just something different to do, you know, on quite literally any night of the week. I don't know what their dark days are or whatever, but yeah, just what a fun outlet. Also, like,
I think their dark days are Wednesdays.
okay, Wednesdays. In a city where it is so freaking expensive
In
to
a city
do.
that never sleeps.
In a Bwum, bwum, bwum,
In the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't
Start
do.
spreading the news. The 20-sided Tavern. In a city that is so expensive to have a social life or do anything, like what a fun night out. Folks, get out there, go see it.
Or just get AMC A-list.
Yeah, that's topical though. I don't know the last time I went and saw a movie. I think the last movie I saw was Inside Out 2.
With me?
Or was Deadpool and Wolverine after that?
No, I think Inside Out too. I don't remember. I think they were
Regardless-
similar. They were like within a week of each other.
Regardless, I think it's been a solid 2 months.
You should
since-
go. Everyone go see Inside Out 2. It's a great movie.
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's even out in theaters anymore.
No. But like, bring a Klonopin.
You're teasing me. You're teasing me, you little neurotypical bastard. Yeah, I don't think I've used my A-list in like 2 months solid, so I got to go see 3 movies.
I guess
now.
you hate wasting. You hate. I guess I don't know what I'm gonna say. I guess you
I'm
hate.
leaving that in there, you fool. You bumbling fool. I love seeing movies, but also, you know, sometimes there's dry periods where there's not a whole lot out there.
Yeah, so I'm always just like, you know what? During Oscar season, I'm seeing like 4 a week, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Did you see the Dungeons & Dragons movie?
I did.
Fun movie.
I saw before I ever played or knew a single thing about Dungeons and Dragons. I saw it because my friend Brandon was like, it was
what's his name? Brandon?
It was another one of those things where he was like, "Oh, do you want to go see this movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, AMC, it's free. I'll go."
Did we see it together? We might have seen it together.
No, I think it was literally just the two of us because I remember thinking it was weird. I was like, it's not a group, and I don't know Dungeons and Dragons, but like, I'll go. It's free, and
I'm pretty
not
sure I
doing
saw it
anything.
with Brandon. Maybe he saw it multiple times.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Maybe you were there. I don't think you were there though.
Maybe I didn't see it with him.
Because I remember him having to like give me a little rundown first. I was
don't
like, do I
know.
need to know this?
Anywho, whatever.
I don't remember.
We both saw it.
Who knows?
Great movie.
Who
Fun
knows?
movie. Fun for
Fun.
the whole
It was
family.
great. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that one you don't need to know a single thing. It's like it's standalone movie. You
For
don't have
sure.
to know the game
I like that there's things out there now that are like kind of making it
for your culture.
from it. I'm just so happy there's representation out there.
This is really a good play for you to watch.
Thank you.
Like it's like they made it for you.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
You should take your parents.
I would love to take my parents. I think they would have a blast.
I think they would too.
I
I was making fun of you, but I was also being dead serious.
No, literally, I think they would very much enjoy it. They don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, but especially after hearing me talk about this.
They don't watch that TV show with you? The Blindside 20 or whatever it's called? Can you say it one more time? What's the name of the TV show you watch?
I kind of think I'm going to just leave it there. So that's kind of what you're saying. It's called Dimension 20.
Dimension.
Yes.
I don't know where I got the Blindside 20.
Well, Sandra Bullock does play in their cast sometimes. So that's probably, you probably got their worlds confused.
And she
there.
brings her Oscar with her from the Blindside.
It's part of her character.
While she plays.
Every character she plays, it's always incorporated in there somewhere. So
Yeah,
she needs the
okay.
prop. Did she get an Oscar for that?
Yeah, that was her Oscar.
As she should.
That's her Oscar. I never saw it.
You've never seen The Blind Side?
You have? No, you haven't.
Listen,
So
if
fuck right off.
if there is a dramatic movie about a middle-aged woman overcoming some form of adversity, particularly sports-related, I haven't rushed to see it, but I've been in the room when someone is watching it, and it has moved me thoroughly.
I thought you were about to say, I expect you to see it.
I'm just saying.
And I'm like, that's fair.
Now that I say that,
I
really don't think that's true whatsoever. I think my sports movies really are The Blind Side and Friday Night Lights, and probably
never seen that one either.
That's one of those other classic ones that I have watched because I was in the room while it was happening.
Do you think I care about any movie that has to do with sports? No.
I just thought you appreciated the craft of acting. Let's get you in a sports movie. I want to see you
bocce ball.
I want to see you playing a high school bocce ball coach.
Oh, because I've aged out of being on the team.
No, just because that's the archetype of this movie.
Okay.
Like, the star is the coach.
Okay.
It is either the coach or the parent, but
the coach. And what is the coach? What happens?
I feel like you're a renowned bocce. You were a champion back in your day. You were a bocce champion. Boy, you could throw those balls with such precision. And you started coaching in the premier leagues of high school bocce ball, and through a series of budget cuts, the National Bocce League for high school gets kind of demoted, and so you have to take a job at a kind of lesser trained bocce school. You know, maybe their team only has like 4 or 5 kind of quirky players. I think I'm picturing dodgeball, but with bocce ball in terms of
dodgeball.
You've never seen dodgeball?
You think I'm not lying when I tell you I don't see movies about sports.
Danny, that's not even a real sports movie. That's Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn being idiots.
I know, I've never seen it.
Oh, listen, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
If I can what?
Exactly. And that's Dungeons and Dragons for you.
That's 20-sided Tavern for you.
That's the 20-sided Tavern for you. See how I tied that in? I thought that was pretty seamless.
I think that was pretty good. No one's going to notice that tangent.
No, tangent.
All right. Bye.
Folks, are we putting any songs from the show in our book? I'd be really impressed if you did, because first of all, it's not a musical. So there really aren't songs with lyrics. However, they do make up some bops on the spot. And if you are able to compose said bop, I think they would really appreciate that, knowing them thus far. So that's obviously just a silly little anecdote that I just did there.
It was really good.
She's really good.
Looking them up on Today Ticks again.
Are you about to share other information about it, or are you just trying to verify that the price you gave us earlier was correct?
I'm trying to verify.
Okay.
So the show is 2 hours and 15 minutes, including 1 intermission.
So true.
And yeah, most tickets are $48.
Amazing.
And they're off on Wednesdays.
Wonderful.
So go see it.
Yeah, folks.
If you see it, send Brennan the receipt for your ticket and he'll reimburse you.
I won't do that. I simply won't do that. I don't know why you keep on telling the people that I'm rolling in it right now.
He will.
I can't tell you the last time I paid my student loans. As soon as I got put on that save
another
plan,
conversation for another time,
as soon as I got put on that save plan, I just have not even bothered attempting to. You know?
Okay.
Do you actively pay them off?
Yeah.
That's really bold of you. Look at Mr. Vanderbilt over here. Anywho, folks, go get out there. Go see the 20-sided Tavern. Go watch some D&D on television. Go play a game, you know? Have some fun with this. It's a fun time. It's a nerdy time for sure. But listen, if Danny and I can do it, so can you.
I agree.
Yeah. I do genuinely mean that. I feel like if you and I can figure it out.
What, D&D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out there, folks.
So easy, we can do it.
Yeah. I think maybe I'll pad this whole episode with laugh tracks just for no reason. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Could be funny.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, folks, go get out there. Go see it. It's really fun. Hopefully you've listened to a lot of the interviews that we've been doing in this special week of episodes. However, if you have not, go check those out. We got 2 of them out so far, 2 more to go after today. It is truly 5 episodes of content this week.
And don't worry, next week we'll be back to our gay little musicals.
Yes, next week it's going to be
Nerd time
musical.
is over.
It is going
gay
to
time activated.
It'll be specifically theater nerd only next week. Specifically LGBTQ plus community only. And
bye.
Folks, if there are...
Oh. Thought you were going to do it.
No, of course, folks, if there are any particular little gay shows you want to hear us talk about, you can let us know by finding us over on Patreon. Folks are... No, I gotta stop saying folks so much. Y'all, our principal tier Patreon members do have the option... I shouldn't say option. Do have the...
ability
of choosing what shows we talk about every Wednesday for In the Spotlight. So if that's something you want to let us know about, please hop on over there. Of course, as always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA2Broadway. You can find me at Brennan Stefanik.
You can find me at DSols.
And until next week, folks, bye. I can't believe you did that to me. He got ready to say it, and then he did it.
I took a breath in and everything.
Haha, I'm ending the episode there. From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.